Number 10. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. The relationship between these two was long, rocky, and just full of drama. Kanye and Kim were together for 8 years before Kanye decided to be a maniac and post every single thought in his tiny little head on the internet. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we are discussing a verbal spat filmed by a professional camera for her show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kanye was voicing his opinions on Kim's upcoming appearance at the Met Gala. He makes comments basically saying that the outfit was just too revealing and that it physically upset him in his soul as a father of almost 4 kids to see his wife prepared to walk the red carpet in basically nothing. Kim snaps back by calling Kanye out as he was completely fine with the outfit the night before when she was having a full-blown panic attack about wearing it in the first place. There is some back and forth, and while this argument is small, it showcases the struggle that these two were actually having behind the scenes. This man was literally trying to tell Kim Kardashian what she can and can't wear. Had that worked out for you, Mr. Yee? Number 9. Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny. Earlier this year, the musician known as Bad Bunny was spotted on a night out with his boo-boo, Kendall, one of the youngest of the Kardashian clan. The two were seen together having a tiff at a Lakers game of all places. The two were sitting courtside wearing the skin of their enemies on their boots, aka snakeskin, and while the game was mostly filled with smiles and joy, there was a moment before the game got too heated where it looked like the couple may not be as close as we thought. In a short clip taken from the game, Bad Bunny leans in close to Kendall and whispers something that makes her face go from "Ooh, I love basketball" to "This is not the time or place." Now, at first the speculation was that there was an uncomfortable question asked and they moved on, but the way that Bunny's mouth is shaped is making many people speculate that he may have just been breathing and Kendall was getting a whiff of it. The rest of the game was fine and they had a good time, but their faces are never close to each other again. Coincidence? I think not. Number 8. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Despite only being back together for like maybe 2 years, these two have actually been caught in a tiff the most out of everyone on this list, and I did include Kim Kardashian. So there is a ton of footage from red carpet events and awards where the couple seem to be having heated arguments. While attending the premiere for J-Lo's movie The Mother, the couple were photographed and filmed on the red carpet having a very heated discussion that seemed like a fight as the moment cameras flashed, they popped back into smile mode. However, according to a lip-reading expert, these two almost never fight, but they have the most sour faces when they're trying to kid around. The expert broke down this specific exchange, claiming that Jen simply asked Ben how she looked and he responded with, "You look fine!" The rest of the argument was just them being cute, with Ben constantly making sure that she was comfortable and asking her if she wanted him to be closer, to which she said yes please. This is an example of a couple who seem to be mad on camera, but it turns out they're just both weirdos with really expressive faces. Number 7. Bradley Cooper and Irana Shayk. Bradley Cooper and Irana were a powerhouse couple in Hollywood. They dated for nearly 4 years before calling it quits in 2019. However, the two created many memories which fans fondly remember even today, and one of the most memorable was at a tennis tournament. Paparazzi caught what looked like a super awkward argument between Bradley Cooper and his model girlfriend Irana at the 2016 Wimbledon men's final. The video footage from that day shows Bradley whispering into his girlfriend's ear while she appears to cry and turn her head away from him. She appeared to be dabbing tears out of her eyes and then crossed her arms and refused to look at him. In this video, he then went back to watching the tennis game as she just sat there in silence beside him. Awkward! While it is not clear what the two were actually fighting about, it's obvious that Irana is not having a great day. Some suggested that the couple were fighting over his ex-girlfriend Suki Waterhouse. According to TMX, the situation was caused by severe pollen allergies, but that is the oldest excuse in the book. I get pollen allergies every time I watch the end of Coco.
Number 10. Kirsten Dunst and Garrett Hedlund. This is a great way to start off the list because even though this public fight was embarrassing, it seemed like the couple were able to shrug it off relatively quickly. We're going to talk about the epic couple fight that happened way back in 2012 between actress Kirsten Dunst and her on-the-road co-star Garrett Hedlund, who just recently started dating at the time. Although the actors had plenty in common and things started going well initially, cameras caught the couple having a major argument on their way to a movie theater which was so intense it looked like it was about more than which movie they were seeing. It looked like something had sparked a pretty big fight as the pair continued to hurl insults at each other on the way. Whatever happened in the car that day, it was probably just a petty argument because they ended up dating for another 4 years. And in 2015, Kirsten said, quote, "We're the same age, we have similar backgrounds, he feels like family to me." But sadly, like most other good things, the relationship came to an end in April of 2016. Number 9. John Mayer and Jessica Simpson. If there's one thing that Hollywood knows by now, it's that John Mayer is a bit of a playboy. His reputation as a womanizer definitely precedes him, so that's why everyone at one point was really surprised to see him with Jessica Simpson. He raised eyebrows when he used the phrase sexual napalm to describe his romance with Simpson and even compared her to a certain illicit substance that he said he couldn't get enough of. The couple dated for a year, but they broke up several times throughout their relationship. In fact, sources close to the couple told people that things were always on and off between the pair, and they had arguments constantly. Unfortunately, 2006 marked the year that they decided to finally split for good. The couple was on vacation in Mexico when there were photos snapped of them arguing on the balcony of their room. Jessica looked like she was in tears, and it was undoubtedly a breakup. The news of their split came shortly after the photos were released, meaning there's a good chance that the paparazzi actually captured the moment when Jessica and John called things off for good. Number 8. Adrienne Maloof and Sean Stewart. Apart from their almost 20-year age difference, it seemed like there were a myriad of other issues that plagued the brief relationship between Rod Stewart's son, Sean Stewart, and former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member Adrienne Maloof. The couple split up after having a blowout fight on the red carpet. According to eyewitnesses, the duo arrived separately, and Adrienne walked the red carpet with an even younger man, 24-year-old Jacob Bush. TMZ spotted the pair fighting next to the red carpet at the charity event, which definitely marked the end of their on-again, off-again relationship. The argument between them got heated, and Sean could be seen storming off, telling his ex, "I'm done," when her date tried to approach him. Stewart later claimed to Brandi Glanville on her podcast, quote, "I do want to clear up one rumor. She never broke my heart." But when it came time to explain the bizarre public fight, the reality TV star only told Star Magazine, quote, "I have a lot of changes going on in my life. I went through a period of darkness and I am much happier now than ever. Things are good." Number 7. Bradley Cooper and Irina Shayk. Bradley Cooper and Irina Shayk were one of the power couples in Hollywood. The two dated for nearly 4 years before calling it quits in 2019. However, the two have created many memories which fans fondly remember, even one of them at the famed tennis tournament. Paparazzi caught what looked like a super awkward argument between actor Bradley Cooper and his model girlfriend at the 2016 Wimbledon's men final. In the video footage from that day, Bradley was caught whispering into Irina's ear while she appears to cry and turn her head away from the actor. She appeared to be dabbing tears out of her eyes and then crossed her arms and refused to look at him. In the video, he then went back to watching the tennis and she just sat in silence beside him. While it's not clear why the two were really fighting or what they could have been possibly fighting about, but that didn't stop people online from speculating wildly the way the internet loves to do. Some even suggested that Bradley and Irina were fighting over his ex-girlfriend Suki Waterhouse. Although it feels like you can almost cut the tension with a knife, TMZ later reported that sources close to the couple claimed Irina was simply battling pollen allergies. Well, it really could have been anything.
Number 6. Shia LaBeouf and Maya Goth. As Entertainment Tonight revealed, cameras caught the couple on video having a huge fight in July 2015 in, I'm gonna butcher this horribly, in Tübingen, Germany. The disturbing footage shows LaBeouf walking away from the argument and getting into a car with some locals, telling them that he didn't want to touch a woman, he didn't want to hit anybody, but he was being pushed. After Goth attempts to speak to him again, he can be heard saying once again that he doesn't want to touch anyone, and that it was these types of situations that made people violent. The argument was never actually specified, and many have been left wondering what specifically caused this tiff. Shia is a very passionate man, and that can cause him to fly off the rails a lot. It could have been anything that set him off. Regardless of what happened, the couple quickly worked out their differences, and Shia has called the moment embarrassing and uncharacteristic. They're still married to this day, but with Shia's reputation, who knows how long that's gonna last. Number 5. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. This was a brutal snub that was caught live on TV. The Prince and Meghan were watching a Lakers game from a corporate box. They were joined by other A-listers that night like Adam Sandler and Kim Kardashian. Now, this fight, snub slash situation type deal took place when the infamous kiss cam made its way up to Meghan and Harry's skybox. Now, it takes a moment for them to realize what's going on. When Harry goes in for a little smoochy, Meghan rejects him and then laughs the whole thing off. Harry is visibly confused before the cameras cut to the next couple. This awkward moment made many people question why Meghan's instinctual reaction was to giggle and push him away. Now, we understand not wanting to do any PDA on camera, but it's the kiss cam. You gotta do it, it's the law. Number 4. Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman. Simon and Lauren have been together for 8 years, and for the most part things seem to be okay. But in a heated exchange between himself and his ex, things were very different. Last year the couple were spotted walking their dog with their son Eric, and at the time of photographing, Lauren was actually pregnant. At one point the person photographing caught Simon walking in front of her in frustration. He then stopped and turned to say something to her with a face like thunder, according to the photographer. Some gestures are made before Simon gets on his phone in frustration. Now, they all continue to walk in the same direction, but not together, with Simon being seen as an angry man throughout the entire exchange. A spokesperson for Simon denied there ever being an altercation of any kind, but it's clear from the photos that were taken that something is not okay with these two. Number 3. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Kim Kardashian said she absolutely thinks she owes her ex-husband Kris an apology for how she handled their breakup. Kim opened up about her short-lived marriage to the former NBA player during part of one of her family's wide-ranging reunion specials with TV host Andy Cohen. It reflected on 20 seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The show ended after 14 years on air. During the conversation, Kim admitted that she felt pressured to go ahead with her wedding to Humphries in 2011 because they filmed it for Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and she didn't want to be known as one of those runaway brides forever, even though she had cold feet and just didn't want to do it in the first place. The couple were filmed on Keeping Up with the Kardashians several times having verbal altercations, so it's no surprise that this marriage ended so quickly. I think the more shocking thing is that it happened in the first place. Nobody on the crew thought it was a little bit weird that the people fighting all the time were getting married. Who am I kidding? It was probably their favorite thing to film. Number 2. Kirsten Dunst and Garrett Hedlund. Even though this public fight was embarrassing, it seemed like the couple were able to shrug it off relatively quickly. I of course refer to the epic battle that took place between Kirsten and her on-the-road co-star Garrett Hedlund, who she had just recently started seeing. Although the actors had plenty in common and things started going well initially, cameras caught them having a major argument on their way to a movie theater, which was so intense that it looked like it was about much more than choosing Oppenheimer or Barbie. It appeared that something had sparked a pretty big fight as the pair continued to hurl insults at each other the entire way there. Whatever happened in the car that day, it was probably just a petty argument because they ended up dating for 4 more years. But sadly, like most good things in the world, the relationship came to an end in April in 2016. And at number 1, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Taking the top spot on this list was a 3-way altercation that actually didn't even involve Beyonce. Following the Met Gala in 2014 in an elevator created by fate itself, Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce and his sister-in-law Solange were caught on camera having a time and a half. The footage showed Solange getting right up into Jay-Z's face and kicking as the security team holds her back. During the altercation, Beyonce is actually seen standing with her arms crossed, all calm and collected, before she just starts picking things up that are falling from her sister's bag. Jay never swings or lays a hand on anyone, he simply tries to block her attacks, but he is no Cobra Kai, so his blocks didn't really work. Eventually, Beyonce steps between the two and diffused the situation. Now, it's never been confirmed by anyone what the fight was about. According to Solange, Jay said something inappropriate that set her off, as she's very protective of her sister. Now, in a joint statement from the three, they said that the incident was in the past. They are a family at the end of the day with their own drama. Anyone watching with close kids or parents definitely knows what I'm talking about.
Number 6. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. The stars were photographed having a very emotional moment inside a car prior to their divorce. Back in 2016, the pair were arguing in their SUV after dropping their 3 children at school when things started to get really heated. Just looking at the picture that has been circulated online, you can tell that Jennifer was getting very frustrated with whatever Ben was saying, and she proceeded to make hand gestures throughout the argument, probably because she felt like she wasn't being heard. At one point, she can actually be seen breaking down in tears inside the vehicle. But this instance wasn't a one-off, and recently it seems like Ben has a lot of explaining to do. The 49-year-old was caught earlier this year puffing on his cigarette fiercely while appearing to be in another fight with Jennifer on the streets of Los Angeles. The exes appeared to be locked in a heated conversation outside her car just hours after it was revealed that Ben and his now fiancée Jennifer Lopez bought a $50 million home together. The pair rekindled their relationship in April last year, almost immediately after she ended her engagement with Alex Rodriguez. So the timing is definitely interesting. Number 5. Jessie Nelson and Jake Roche. When the former couple arrived together at the album release party for Little Mix's Get Weird in 2015, they were supposed to be in high spirits for the event. But the evening soon took a turn for the worst, as somehow it ended up with Jessie crying. It was reported that Jessie allegedly had a massive fight with her then fiancé before she decided she had had enough and stormed out. A source told the Daily Mirror newspaper that the girls had been having a great night, drinking and even dancing on the tables the whole night until the early hours. But somewhere around the AM, Jessie and Jake had a tiff, and Jake stomped off to a nearby hotel, and Jessie was clearly sobbing and she took a cab home. The singer was spotted leaving the venue in London and hopping into a cab in the early hours of the morning with makeup smudged around her face and eyes bloodshot after the fight. The couple announced their split the following year, so it looked like in this case the fight may have been indicative of a larger issue in their relationship. According to reports, the reason they split was because Jessie wanted to start a family, but Jake, who was only 24, felt that he was too young to be a father and that they had the rest of their lives to have children. Number 4. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Their infamous on and off again relationship was definitely not free from arguments, and some of them were caught on camera. Right before Selena and Justin got on a plane to Paris, they got into a huge fight while at Princess Juliana International Airport in St. Martin, and unfortunately it looked like a massive one. In the video, we see Justin and Selena sitting in their car outside the airport in St. Martin before their Paris flight. Selena storms out of the car, walks into the airport by herself and throws her bag on the floor. Justin didn't immediately follow her, instead he chose to sit in the car for a little bit, which probably made her even more mad. When he did enter a few minutes later, she was chatting with a fan that had a baby, and Justin came over and they silently walked to their flight. You could tell both of them were equally frustrated, but in 2014, this was only one of the many public fights that the couple would go on to have. In fact, after their romantic trip, they went to Paris Fashion Week, which led to more arguing because Justin reportedly went to dinner with Kendall Jenner and partied with her at the same party that Selena was at. She flew out the next morning alone, leaving Justin in Paris, and then deleted him off Instagram. Number 3. Johnny McGade and Courtney Cox. These two are also known for their on-again, off-again relationship, and after getting back together once again after a brief split, the actress and her musician boyfriend were seen arguing outside a West London restaurant and appeared to be exchanging heated words as they dined outside during Courtney's visit to the British capital. In one shot, the former Friends actress can be seen waving her arms and phone in front of Johnny's face, while in another she looks frustrated as she held her head in her hands. Not long after, she gave her then fiancé the silent treatment before getting to her feet to leave the restaurant. For some background, the pair have been engaged, unengaged, and living separately for the majority of their relationship, even though they've been together for 7 years. And so this argument really fueled rumors of more relationship problems. The argument was reportedly about the couple planning their nuptials when they started fighting about the finer details, and insiders told reporters that the couple couldn't agree where they would live, as Johnny supposedly wanted to move back to the UK and Courtney wanted to remain in LA. Number 2. Christopher Hivju and Guy Mulvert. If you forget about Season 8, Game of Thrones was really an epic TV series that took over the world as soon as Season 1 hit, and made several of its stars household names. Norwegian actor Christopher was one of the stars who appeared in the series over the years, but it was his public fight with his wife, Guy, who is a photographer, that really got people talking. They say that redheads are known for their temper, so it seems like these two are really perfect for each other. The couple were spotted having a heated argument as they were shopping in Los Angeles, as Guy had reportedly been looking for a new dress. No one really knows what the fight was about, but onlookers claimed that their argument lasted for over an hour and escalated very quickly. During the fight, you can see the actor raises his hands in the air in frustration, while his wife, who looks incredibly distraught, has her eyes to the ground the whole time. The fight continued before they both stormed off. Just goes to show you how celebrities are normal people too. Number 1. Shia LaBeouf and Carolyn Foe. Yes, he is back on the list because the actor has a seriously extensive track record of public spats. Shia LaBeouf is fairly well known for his outlandish behavior, where he frequently just takes it way too far by getting kicked out of a performance of Cabaret or being arrested for public drunkenness in 2017. But this fight dates back to 2012 when he and his then girlfriend Carolyn were caught fighting on camera and having a tearful exchange on the side of the road in LA. It was then that rumors started circulating about the extent of Shia's involvement in the sex scenes in Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac, which were reportedly real. So naturally his girlfriend would be upset. She did not seem too thrilled that her actor boyfriend Shia had shared an intimate scene with his co-star in the movie. But Carolyn was pretty quick to deny the fight, telling the New York Daily News, quote, "It's none of anybody's business. Everything is fine with us. It was nothing affiliated with this movie." Although that might be true, clearly something had caused the couple to have a public screaming match on the side of the road in broad daylight. And just like that, in November the same year, the couple had officially decided to split for good.
Starting off our list at number 10 today, we have Beyonce and Jay-Z. Back in January of 2015, Beyonce and Jay-Z had anything but a quiet sushi night as the megastar couple was captured getting into it at Sushi Park Restaurant in Los Angeles. In released photos, Beyonce could be seen yelling at her husband. And later, OK Magazine would then speculate that the altercation happened because Jay-Z's non-stop cell phone use during dinner. However, like many mysteries and the fact that the couple usually tends to keep their private life, pretty private, no one can say for sure what the two may have been arguing about. However, this wouldn't be the couple's first public fight since back in 2014, the couple had an infamous elevator incident that first brought potential difficulties in their relationship to light, and both have explored marital conflict in their albums 444 and Lemonade respectively. But it seems like all is well now as they continue to gush about each other in interviews, and back in 2017, Jay-Z also said he was really proud of the art Beyonce was releasing, and he also noted that she was amazing. Coming in number 9, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. Just before Emma Roberts and Evan Peters split for good, the American Horror Story co-stars in 2013 were caught on camera while they had a pretty serious physical fight. While it may have seemed at the time that the two were actually a perfect couple in Hollywood, it was anything but perfect. When the two stars started to make headlines after they had a pretty public fight in Montreal, the New York Daily News would then report that the Montreal police had to attend to the scene after people called in a domestic situation. When the police showed up to the couple's hotel room, they would find Evan with a handful of injuries, which included a bloody nose and a bite mark. The police then opted to arrest Emma on the scene even after Evan chose not to file charges against her. Although Emma was released, the paparazzi would then capture her breaking down when she learned the news had reached the media. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. When Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth posed at the LA premiere of the Avengers Endgame in 2019, their red carpet smiles didn't last too long, as the two widely displayed their different styles and tensions between them were pretty palpable. When Miley couldn't stop talking about how she wanted to let her hair down and have a crazy fun night out, Liam was there to support his brother Chris and was hoping to have a fairly chilled evening. And it appears neither of them would end up leaving the red carpet happy at the end of the night, as Miley did Miley, as she was seen vamping it up for photographers, and her Aussie actor hubby at the time grew increasingly uncomfortable, resulting in the famous duo getting into their first major fight as a married couple. And you could even see Liam at one point on the red carpet telling Miley to behave. After the two then walked off the red carpet, Liam would then angrily accuse Miley of turning the premiere into the Miley show, and once the couple got home, a source would then reveal that they got into a big fat argument. And then jump to the day, Miley wrote a song called flowers that highlights their relationship and how it was never perfect. And it's been #1 on the billboards for the last 3 weeks, and she even took a jab at Liam in the music video by wearing the suit he wore that night on the red carpet. At #7 we have Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Before Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck decided to go their separate ways, the world was pretty shocked to learn that their marriage was anything but perfect. While there were plenty of rumors in 2015 that suggested Ben had been unfaithful in their marriage with the family's former nanny, after the couple returned home from vacation, a fight would break out shortly after, and this is when they dropped their 3 children off at school. Onlookers would then tell In Touch that Jennifer and Ben were in their SUV when things started to get a little out of hand. They even started to claim that there was lots of gesturing through it all, and the photos and videos captured, you could see Jennifer crying. This is when people started to believe that Ben was making it clear that their marriage was over and that he was going forward with the divorce. #6, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. At one point in time, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were Hollywood's it couple, and you couldn't turn around without seeing them mentioned somewhere in the street. But it seems like after the couple filed for divorce and went their separate ways, they have been hitting headlines for some pretty serious accusations. Before the couple ultimately decided to part ways, they would be spotted at Legoland in Windsor, and they would be spotted coming off this ride with their children, and the couple could be seen getting into a pretty serious argument where Brad would be shown touching Angelina's arm before she pulled away and decided to shout in the actor's face while they were in public. The people who captured the photos then said they saw the couple again later, and they looked like they were still arguing sometime later. #5, Channing Tatum and Jenna Dahlin. While it seems to be a trend of couples meeting on the set of movies and getting together and becoming couples, Channing Tatum and Jenna Dahlin were no exception, as the pair started dating shortly after they worked together on the iconic dance movie Step Up. Although it looked like things were going extremely well for the pair, they would show the world that there were signs that things were off for months before they announced their divorce. Jenna would even open up about the couple's last months together in their relationship in her book. This is when she would claim that the two were only hurting each other by staying together. Also leading up to the couple's divorce, the couple were often seen sharing words out in public before heading out and getting snapped by the media in several photos. And after the public arguments, it would seem like Jenna would rather look at her cell phone than talk to Channing. #4, Blueface and Krishan Rock. Lately it seems like Blueface and his girlfriend Krishan keep making headlines for all the wrong reasons. If you've been online for the past few months, then you probably have seen the viral videos and tweets of the rappers going viral with the rise of the couple's reality show Crazy in Love. However, while some users view the relationship as entertaining, I think we can collectively agree that their relationship is pretty toxic, as we have seen the two enter into some pretty concerning altercations. The problem with the two is not only that the relationship is dangerous, but it's also harmful for the immediate parties around them. While it seems like Krishan is the main reason behind the couple's toxic relationship, she would go into an interview to come out to address the public's concern about her relationship by saying, "We're just here learning, figuring things out. We met each other, how we met each other, but that's it." However, now that Krishan has announced her pregnancy with Blueface, things are only going to get more messy going forward, and that's what is the most concerning part for their fans watching. #3, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. Like any couple, it's no secret that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman have endured their fair share of issues throughout their relationship. After all, Keith has used some of their disagreements as inspiration for his songs. While the couple often tends to keep their disagreements away from the media, back in 2016 when Nicole was captured giving her husband a look that no husband wants to see, the internet would go into a frenzy while they tried to figure out what happened. The confrontation would happen when they were at a movie premiere. Insiders would then tell the Daily Mail that things took a turn when Keith got upset over the couple's very busy schedules as they had spent the year apart. Apparently, Keith wanted to return to Australia to be with their family, but Nicole, on the other hand, was just really sick of Keith sulking about them being apart, and she just wanted him to be with her and support her career. #2, Rihanna and Chris Brown. Back in the day, Rihanna and Chris Brown had a relationship that made us all raise our eyebrows. Eventually, during their relationship, after headlines started to show that Chris got into a physical altercation with Rihanna, he would eventually be arrested and charged, and eventually the stars would also call off their relationship. Just before, the couple was at a pre-Grammy party when they started arguing in a car, car. Later, Rihanna would then open up about the altercation in an interview with Diane Sawyer. There, she would claim that their altercation started after Rihanna saw a text from a girl on Chris's phone. Rihanna then said that she knew he was lying and that he knew he had nowhere to turn. However, Rihanna would then go on to note that there had been warning signs that something bad was going to happen long before the incident. Apparently, the more the couple fell in love, the more they both started to realize how dangerous they were for another. Today, Rihanna has used her experience to help other young women going through similar situations. Number 1. Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf. Just before Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf decided to split, they had quite a habit of getting caught on camera having these really public fights. Just before the two started dating, Shia actually met and fell in love with Mia Goth on a set of their movie, and eventually they decided to walk down the aisle. While the couple has now gone on their separate ways, they were involved in some pretty high profile and public fights while they were in Germany. In a viral video in 2015, the two could be seen screaming at each other. The footage in that video would then show Shia walking away from the scene and getting into a car as he explains that he didn't want to hurt Mia. Then a source would confirm that apparently when Mia tried to talk to Shia again, he would then respond to Mia by saying he was being pushed and he didn't want to be aggressive.